Do
My
it.
feet
Whatever.
are cute. I could do
Yeah.
it. I could do it. I might do it. I need money.
Anyway, should we do the
yeah, let's just
do the
dive in.
podcast?
I have so much I want to talk about. Okay.
All right. Welcome to Witchcast.
Cause it's Witchcast.
I'm Emily,
I'm Kate.
and we are your co-hosts of this, the Witchcast podcast.
That's right. We're your learning, growing, ever-evolving novice witches here to explore everything under the woo-woo, esoteric, spiritual umbrella.
Yes, that's right. And today we have a very special guest.
Woo-hoo.
They're a witch on the rise, writer, performer, performance artist, drag queen. Call them whatever you want. Just don't call them late for supper. It is Judy Darling, otherwise known as Coleman Drew. Hi,
That's
welcome.
right.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
So happy to have you. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here, witches.
Oh, we're thrilled to have you.
Well, so technically,
Bring it in.
you're
Bring
our
it on.
first witch drag queen.
Ooh.
We have had a witch who has now since become dabbled in drag, but at the time they were
Sure.
not
I love
drag
that.
when they were on. You know what I mean?
love
But you are our
that.
first established drag witch.
Wow.
So welcome. We're very excited to
Thank
have you.
you. Hail and welcome, drag witch.
Hail and welcome. So tell us. Tell our listeners a little about yourself. Tell us about your journey. How did you first get involved in magic and witchcraft and become a witch on the rise and the event that is Judy Darling?
Yes. Oh my gosh. All right. So I was a New Yorker for a very long time, for about 10 years, a little before that as well. Kind of bounced around to LA in between that. And in 2013, I started to put the pieces of the puzzle together that magic and exploring those paths are a valid choice of higher power. And it is a great way to learn more about yourself and where you come from and the world around you. And I started to delve kind of deep into different practices that spoke to me. And I don't know if you've had this experience, but it's like a wormhole. And as you fall down, you really understand that so many things are connected and so many different cultures and so many different practices mirror or resemble similar vibrations of energies or traditions or things that they teach or things that they help bring out of us. So I gravitated to the practices that spoke to me and, really got to live my childhood dream of being a witch. Because I don't know if either one of you were like this, but I was fully a child in the backyard praying to God, praying to the Christian God to make me a witch on a broomstick.
I was really sure the wind was talking to me. I was like, it wants me to go this way. I will do that.
Yes. I feel like you either were a horse girl or you were a witch girl growing up. Yeah. I mean, we're all witch girls. Yeah.
Yeah, we were witch girls. I was a witch girl. And funnily enough, how I kind of got into drag was a similar way. I wasn't allowed growing up, just because of some issues with my father had with the idea of his son being a girl for Halloween. I wasn't allowed to be someone who wasn't a witch, which is kind of like a weird thing that he should unpack. But I took advantage of it and was a witch for many years during Halloween time. So I could be a girl. So I could play in kind of the expression of gender. And because of that, I started to idolize more of the witch or the villainous archetypes and see how far I could push that envelope. Typically, he would only allow me to be unattractive witches. I couldn't be pretty witches. So again, I really would love one day to sit down with my dad and unpack this with him.
Yeah.
Right, what was the line?
That's interesting. He just didn't want you to be prettier than him or something. There's some kind of thing
Maybe
going
it was
on there.
some weird thing well, I don't want you to be a hot woman. Maybe it's that whole dark-seated and internalized homophobia that curses so many of our darling, straight identifying male
That toxic
counterparts.
masculinity will get you every time. You know?
It'll get you every time. They don't, they like to package it a little differently every year, but it's gonna rot the same speed as the last batch.
sneaking up on
It's
you.
worn a lot of different pointy hats, but it's it's always out there.
Yeah. Luckily, not as many witch hats. Luckily, it doesn't wear those
Right.
pointy witch
Yeah,
hats.
right.
Those
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of pointy hats.
Luckily not. But yeah, that kind of bridge of playing in this gender identity and then my magical identity really kind of came to head at the same time. I was in New York and exploring what it means to self-identify as a witch and how that kind of can translate into physical practices. In addition, I was in a 12-step program, so I was kind of needing to identify what higher power was for me to make that program work. And I was starting to be a drag queen who was asking for money, which was something I hadn't done. So there was a lot of like new things that were happening, and they all really reinforced the other. So around this time, I was living with a very well-known drag queen who was one of my drag mothers. You might know her as Bob the Drag Queen, Roberta Elaine.
Yes. Oh, Bob.
Oh,
Yes.
Bob. Yeah, so I lived with Bob around the time that she got on to Drag Race. And before that, I was hanging out with people like Nomi Sass and Chelsea Pierce. Chelsea Pierce is another of my drag moms. So
Amazing.
I was like dabbling in that scene. And then around the time of becoming a self-identified witch, I was like, you know what? You're going to do this as a career, this drag thing. So it felt like they were very tied,
Yeah.
and they still kind of do.
What like a time of transformation for you
That's
also, I mean, to be doing
amazing.
all that at the same time.
That's a lot.
I mean, tell me about it. It helped having people who were so established in kind of like the nightlife community to anchor myself to as I was up and coming as a drag queen. But being like a magical practitioner, that was something that I kind of had to explore on my own, like many people do, right? You have to first understand where and what you're drawn to, and then find those like-minded people, find those like-minded practices. And so it took a little bit for me to kind of find that magical family. And of course, those magical families evolve and ebb and flow as we transform. And that has continued to happen through my life. But it definitely was a doorway. Both of those expressions were doorways that I was able to walk through. And on this journey, kind of add people, to my arsenal or to my my toolbox of family love, of my little magical coven of artists.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Can I ask, were you going through your Saturn's return during all this? This all feels very Saturn's return-y to
I
me.
guess probably. I'm trying to think. Let's see. So this was 2014. So what would that be math-wise? So if we
How old were you? Like, were you between 27 and
don't-
29?
It's not crazy. I don't even remember how old I was at that time. I probably was
Listen,
like
an event never reveals their age.
that's maybe what I'm getting at. I'm like in my head trying to do the math right now
We don't
of
have
like
to
what
say.
year it is. Maybe at the end I'll cut off a limb and we can count the rings. I've been.
But it is also wild too that you're also going through a 12-step program at the same time. Like, it's just, that's so much transformation on every level.
In some ways it makes sense because those things all sort of support each other. It's like to be able to do all those things works like together. Trying to do one on its own might even be harder than without the sort of like community aspect or like finding a higher power and like, all that stuff.
I mean, really, I think that you're hitting it on the head. Like, like that, having the creative space to work it out, like my raw gender expression that Judy Darling could do on stage and with other performers. I was able to connect personally with my higher power and my practice and set some goals and set some things I was wanting to work towards. And then I had a fellowship in the 12-step program that was helping me change some behaviors that were not serving my art or my higher power. So it was like these three different pillars that were holding each other accountable. And as I've, gotten older, how those pillars support me now have changed. But time and place, right? There was a reason why that divine timing played out the way it did. And, like, I think 2 is a great number, but 3, you can have a foundation and you can build something upon it.
Yeah, much more solid structure.
Yeah, totally.
I love a 3.
Me too, right?
Yes.
I love it.
Plus, I mean, what better way to manifest than literally asking for money? I am manifesting more money from you right now. Thank you.
And that was a thing, is discovering the power, the money spell that Judy Darling has was it was very enticing. You do get, I don't want to say addicted to it as someone who's talking about a 12-step program, but you find yourself relying on accessibility, right? And you can have a tendency to maybe overproduce your art as a way to capitalize, maybe in a way that doesn't feel as connected to source as you want your art to be. So again, it's that tug of war. How can you keep each identity in check through these different practices that are very ingrained, but also separate in how they, and how the altar is set, and how the group worships together. I mean, I definitely feel when I'm in a church or when I'm in a theatrical setting, it feels very spiritual to me. It feels very, I feel very connected to my ancestors. This idea of telling this story, passing on our hopes, our dreams, our heartaches,
For sure.
through make-believe is so similar to what it is to be a magical practitioner. But, the art of witchcraft is often done secretly or privately, and it only serves kind of the energy that it's meant to serve. It's not meant for the public eye. It's not meant for a profit. It's not meant to maybe add to the pop culture directly. It does it kind of in the shadows, or it does it in the moonlight, or it does it at dawn. It does it in these kind of small ways. I'm getting lost in hyperbole.
Well, I wanted to go back to you finding your covens, your support systems, building these kind of foundations in your life. So you have these amazing roommates in the drag world and this kind of family you're creating. How were you finding the knowledge and support systems in terms of learning and growing as a witch? Were you reading books? Were you going to the local apothecary stores? How were you learning as this young new babe in New York City about witchcraft? What were your resources back then?
So in New York, there are so many amazing stores. And when you think about kind of the traditions of magic and spirituality, it's often an oral tradition. So now we're in an era where there's so much, even at our fingertips, right? You don't even have to go somewhere. You can order a book online, or you can download an audiobook. So in a lot of ways, it's a lot simpler, and I think sometimes people take it for advantage. So I think it's up to the practitioner to give their own practice weight, give it its time, and give it kind of its importance in a way. So I sought out kind of the physical experience, and I went to a store that's located in New York. It's called Enchantments. A few years after my first visit there, I ended up getting a job there. But I think I got True Magic, A Beginner's Guide, which is, I think, a book that many witches have read one way or another. I also had 2 books. I think I had more than that, but I remember a few times my dad actually buying me some spell books as a kid because I was so obsessed with witches. And these were all kind of pagan traditions, things that are sweet, simple things that are not nefarious, that a child can be exposed to. And I'm not really a witch that dabbles in kind of that kind of thing anyway, but regardless, I got a book. I started reading. In this kind of platform or springboard of what magic is, what it isn't, it gave me a really good foundation, and from it I was able to kind of go where I was interested. I was able to research, what traditions are in my lineage or in my family that appeal to me? Where does my bloodline come from? And in program and in magic, there's this concept of take what you need and leave the rest. So something that we were unpacking, and I know we're going to talk about it later, but I was just doing a witch camp, and I was working with someone, and we were discussing the idea of working with our ancestors and how do you grapple with things that our ancestors have done that might not be in alignment with who and what you are and what you believe today. And, you know, that's something we can unpack further but later on. But it comes to mind that a witch is not, we don't solicit each other, right? We are answering a call, and it's up to us to know that our higher power is only calling us like with love. Our higher power is not going to talk unkindly to us. So any ancestral energy on the other side, I think is almost, it's not up to us to know if they're absolved of their crimes that they committed in the mundane world. And there's a dog in the shot now. Can you see Riley?
I was thinking, I feel like I hear a dog. Oh, this beautiful dog.
This is Riley.
What a baby.
Such a cute dog.
He and I have
Very, very gorgeous chocolate. What is that?
Cocker Spaniel?
Cocker Spaniel.
Can you,
Gorgeous.
I mean, no pressure. Can you send us a photo of the dog to go with this podcast post when we put it
That's
up?
a gorgeous dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He and I have
love
the same
dogs.
birthday, which is weird.
Aww.
Is that weird? Yeah.
It is weird, but in a
What a
good
little
way.
familiar you have.
He's my friend's dog, and so it was weird when we found out that I was like, oh my god, we both are TBD. We're both what?
We're not going to reveal it yet. We're not going to reveal it yet.
We're not going to reveal it yet. But yes, sorry. I was in so many thoughts and in so many places as I often
No, but I
am.
thought that was really interesting. Yeah, I haven't even thought about that yet, about the sins our ancestors have committed and kind of reconciling that.
Well, that's
Yeah.
right. And I feel like there's different ways of navigating that process, but the idea of taking what you need and leaving the rest, because you can accept the gift of your ancestor by just acknowledging your bloodline, by not celebrating any of the work they did or what they stood for, but by breathing and by contributing to you existing now is enough to kind of tap in to that magic that brought you here. And like in a lot of things, keep it simple, stupid. You know, keep like sometimes the simplest magic is the best. So if something doesn't feel like it's vibrating or connecting with you, it's probably not for you. And so take what you need and leave the rest. Let it kind of blow through you, let it wash away, and find something that makes you feel more expansive. So in my initial discovery of magic, I was going where it was warm. I was going where I was titillated or excited or curious. Part of being a witch is kind of being an anthropologist. There's a lot of homework involved to like being a magical practitioner. And in addition to that homework and self-discovery, you're sacrificing aspects of who and what you were because you're learning stuff about the world and yourself.
Yeah.
And you almost don't know what aspects of yourself you're going to be saying goodbye to until the process happens. And you're like, oh, I'm having to hold myself accountable in a new way. Oh, I'm more aware of the constellation of humans in my life and how we relate to one another, or my impact on the world, right? These are things that come up typically, I have experienced in watching people explore their magic side. You know, they're coming out of the magical closet, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, it's as you were saying before, and I think in some ways it's like the thesis statement of this podcast, but there's a lot out there, you know? And it like a lot of it talks to each other, but also not all of it's going to work for everybody. And it's, you know, it's about finding the practice that makes sense for you. I mean, it's your spirituality. Do what, yeah, like I love the way you said that, which is go where it's warm, you know?
Yeah.
Especially when you're getting started. It's like, this isn't meant to be a chore. There's like research to do, but if something doesn't feel right to you, you don't have to, you know, there's no reason to spend all your time on something that isn't clicking.
100%. Yeah. I mean, there are so many religious practices that are based in requirement or dogma or jumping through hoops or shame and guilt. And I personally don't think magic is one of them. So I mean, there are other ones that are fully packaged and organized, and like go sign up for that if that's what gets you off. But I feel like there is a lot more kind of beauty and celebration and almost holding on to childhood wonder that magic facilitates, that a lot of other spiritual practices, unfortunately, have either lost sight of or don't know how to control. And so they don't facilitate that kind of energy because it is so limitless, right? I think it encourages free thinking. And that, again, is a hard thing to control. It's hard to ask a group of people, we want you to be your most authentic self. It's harder to make everyone kind of get in line when you're trying to make everyone tap into their highest being. But it actually isn't. If you know how, if you actually do it and you do that work and you're like, oh, right, my highest good is their highest good and the highest good of everyone concerned.
Yeah,
but
100%.
It took you, discovering it within yourself before you understand how you fit within kind of the larger picture, the larger fabric of existence, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. This is like such a stupid tie-in, but I'm reading this smutty fairy novel right now. It's like, it's just fairies having sex. And, but one of the characters, she's like going through trauma and she hates herself. And so she takes everything that everyone says to her the wrong way. And I've been thinking about, like, when you hate yourself, you're always going to receive everything wrong. Like, you're always going to receive everything, completely, like, incorrectly because you are so hurt. And it just also reminded me so much of when I was younger or conversations I've had with other people in the past where I'm like, why did they react to me that way? But like, when you are whole in yourself and you're like, and you love yourself and you're like secure in your being, it's just, life is so much easier. Even when like other people are vibrating at whatever other frequencies they're at, it does not affect your frequency as much because it has nothing to do with you, And so like,
right.
That need to control, that need to get people in line, that need to like, it doesn't, completely what you were saying. It just made me think of my smutty fairy novel.
I love that. I mean, part of the magic I subscribe to now is I'm a radical fairy. I don't know if you know anything about the radical fairies, but it's like a subsection of the queer ideology, or the alphabet mafia, as some people call it. But it was a result of gay men needing a place to live out their days as they were suffering from HIV and AIDS. And there are different sanctuaries over the world, and it's not just for gay men now. They have now evolved to including everyone that needs a sanctuary and a place. And obviously different places have different governing practices and rules of sharing the space, but it is a communal environment that is very magical in most things, and it feels almost like summer camp all the time when you're there.
I love that.
And there's a lot of community ritual, and most people have a fairy name, right? So you're learning sometimes 2 names or 3 names of people. You're like, oh, is that so-and-so and so-and-so's this? And I mean, I don't want to name any fairies off the top of my head, but there's some really good names.
Yeah, no, you can't give away fairy names. Isn't that like private?
I mean, I don't know. My drag name followed me to fairyland, so everyone knows me as Judy. So I didn't even get to pick. I didn't even get to pick a fairy name, but it's fine.
Well, can't you come up with a third name now? You can have a fairy name, right?
I have tried, but my friends will kind of refuse. They just call me Judy. It's really funny.
You're just Judy.
I'm just Judy. Yeah. Just Judy.
That's amazing. I love that. And I love a sanctuary, and I love a summer camp vibe. This is a perfect transition because I want to talk more about Judy. Can we talk about her?
Please.
How did she come about? How did she evolve? You spoke a little bit about how you got involved in drag, but I want to talk about the birth of Judy Darling. How did she come to be?
So Judy Darling is named after Judy Garland, and
Of course,
Candy
I
Darling.
assumed.
Yeah. So, do you know who Candy Darling is? The other namesake of mine?
I do not.
So Candy Darling was a actress, a cabaret, an off-Broadway star. She was also in like the Warhol crew, and she was a muse of Lou Reed, but she passed early due to complications with, I think, some hormones that she was taking. They, I think, caused cancer. So her and Judy were both people in my life, performer-wise. They kind of burnt out too soon and lived not tragic lives, but lives where they were fighting back sadness. And I loved them both and kind of named them after named my drag persona after them as a way to not only invoke them, but remind myself my art should fight back the sadness. And if it's not, I need to recalibrate. And Judy, I feel like, has always been kind of around. Do you know, like, the first part of the name, she was really easy to discover. I was obsessed with The Wizard of Oz growing up.
Kate was too. I'm just going to jump in and say Kate loves The Wizard
I
of
watched
Oz.
it every single day.
Me too.
Every single day.
Me too. My dad actually would go as far as to hide it sometimes.
Oh.
He introduced me to The Wiz as a way to try to get things into the rotation, just to try to
move you forward a couple decades.
trying to find some other flavor or spice, Return to Oz, here's the Wizard of Oz in concert with Jewel, just something that's a different version.
It just expands the universe. It only just makes it deeper.
He created a metaverse. He really didn't know what he did.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's a one
It's a
one
yes
person
and,
show.
not an or.
Literally. Now it was like a documentation of comparing all the different versions.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, he set him up. He set himself up for success there. But I loved The Wizard of Oz, and kind of that old MGM starlet that Judy Garland kind of represents, that era. And as I was just exploring my own kind of identity and gender, I learned about Candy Darling and the Warhol scene, and was kind of very drawn to her aesthetic and her alluring, spellbinding way of imitating and almost silently commanding a room. She was one of those people who would just be in the room, and she might make a noise if someone hadn't looked at her in a while. But then, you would look that direction and you'd be like, was that Candy? But she got you looking that way, so, it didn't matter. So she was someone that I just felt was so cool. And I think at times we forget that our guardian angels or our muses or our guides on the other side don't have to be, related to us, or we don't have to know them. And as a magical practitioner, one of my witchy big sisters, she often reminds people these energies or these beings who lived are waiting for us to kind of to call them in, to ask to play, to what we need. And maybe that's inspiration. I'm working on a new drag mix, and so I need some focus, and so I call them to help me as I work through that creative process. Or I'm doing a painting and I need to call in Warhol to have someone pay for it. No, or whatever it is. I'm going to a party and there's someone there that I don't like, so I'm going to call B. Arthur to help me be really sassy. I don't know. But there are,
I love that,
kind of these energies or influences, if you will, from drag that I have kind of absorbed or collected. Lily Tomlin refers to it as damage. We have these profound imprints that we discover throughout life. And I just absolve, like a lot of people, I absorb them all. I was a performing arts major. And in New York, after bouncing around trying to do the acting thing, I was like, maybe it's time to do drag as a way to make money. Because before, it didn't really think like that was the path.
Right.
And when it was in front of me, and all these people were doing great, and I was like, oh, I want to play. And luckily, my drag moms were the type of people were very much come to the party, there's enough food, right? So they were mentors that were very encouraging me to find my own footing in my own shoes. And it was really beneficial to kind of have what I like to think of the last generation before New York drag really became a pipeline for Drag Race. I mean, Bob got on, I think, in season 8. I think he was on season 8. Yeah. And so, like, there was like a bar. It was Essex Lounge. Mm-hmm. Do you know that bar? Did you know that in Chelsea? Mm-hmm. Right. It was like right by Barracuda. And so, like, we would see Chelsea and Nomi's show, and then I'd go to Bob's after it. But, like, there was like a while where, like, there were these titans of New York who have been performing. Peppermint, Bob, Tina Burner, right? Like, all of these queens who have been cutting their teeth on their craft for years. And then they all, like, got sucked up by, like, the spaceship that is reality TV, right? And then, like, the world started to turn way faster, and we started to just, like, pump out drag queens, even at a stronger velocity. But, yeah, Judy was kind of right before that big explosion. And I think, like the generation that didn't grow up with, like, Facebook and Instagram, I was able to kind of figure out who I was, not vying for a TV show, which I think was really beneficial.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then, like a lot of drag performers, I think I kind of fell into that trap of, well, if that's my route or if that's what I'm going to go for, how can I package myself for that? And then I had a house fire in 2017. And, you know, drag is flammable, but again, divine timing. It was baptism by fire, and there was a reason for it, and there was a need physically and emotionally. And as I processed kind of that experience, I was able to redefine who and what Judy Darling was to Coleman, and how that expression of my art could still serve me in a way that was sustainable. Because unfortunately, up until my fire, I was kind of on a hamster wheel where I was just trying to get the bag in a way where I was just doing the gig. And if you are, you know, do anything, you want to feel like your heart's in it and you're being creatively rewarded in a way, or like tapping into kind of that expression of play and artistry.
Yeah.
And sometimes that means a break, or sometimes that needs a pause so that a transformation can occur.
Totally.
Yeah, for sure. And I totally hear you. I feel like Emily and I can identify with that. I think a lot of our listeners who are also based in New York can identify with that. You get stuck in this rut, and it just is it's such a grind, and it's so lonely, and it's just really, you don't even realize it sometimes until
especially as artists, it's like
to take a step back.
Yeah, you find yourself just kind of like working towards something that one day you kind of wake up and are like, is this something I even want? Like, what am I doing?
Yeah. And you don't feel any closer to it at all. Like, you're just like, what am I even going for? Yeah. So, I feel,
It's important, I think, and that's also, I think, being a magical practitioner, it almost demands of you being accountable in how you operate in the world, right? Like what is your mission statement? Like what do you stand for? Like what are you wanting to manifest for yourself and for your community, for your family, for your loved ones, for the world? And it obviously starts with yourself. So if you're a magical practitioner and you're just asking and answering those questions, that's where you need to be. But once you've answered it, then you can kind of make that ripple bigger. But those questions, I think, are important to answer in a cycle, in a way that ebbs and flows. You know, like the moon, sometimes we ain't shining so bright, but sometimes we full. But
sometimes we have to disappear for a day.
Right. And we're not even, like, they can't see us, but we're still there. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things of maybe we're not shining for anybody, but we still exist, and we're still as much as ourselves as when we are shining bright. But it takes, I think, like a performer, like someone who is exploring sobriety, someone who's exploring the world of drag, which in itself can be a lot. This idea of putting on a mask or putting on a costume that changes a persona or a behavior. That is very, very magical work, and different people use that spell in different ways. And some people put a lot of energy and importance onto it, and that's how they vibe. And other people, it's a much simpler process. And not one is better than the other. I think all serves what they need, right? It's about the right magic's going to find the right person, I think. And I think that goes in all directions, right? Like if you're an open person and you are trusting that this or something better, like finding the ability to be grateful what you've been given, this, or something greater for my highest good and the highest good of all those concerned, you're kind of covered, right? This idea of asking for what you want, but then leaving a little wiggle room for the universe to exceed your expectations. Because half the time we don't know what we really are supposed to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Gosh, I feel like we've covered so much of the questions already.
I bounce around so much.
I love
No, you're perfect.
No, it's so good. So I want to talk about, what does your practice look like today? Like, what are you doing today now that feeds into your, because all of it seems so organic to me, right? Your art, your practice, your magic practice, your drag, like all of it is you like you said, you're an event. So what does a day in the life of Judy, aka Coleman, look like?
Well, I've become rather nomadic of late. And so, yeah, this year has been the year of the travel. I'm kind of
did we talk about the fact, sorry to talk over, but the fact that you're on a deck right now while we were actually recording?
Oh, yeah, we didn't mention that in the recording.
We didn't.
Judy is currently on a deck in Atlanta. It's beautiful and green and lush and sunny.
Yeah, this film's not going to be used, but I'm moving the camera around so they can.
Yeah, well, we can see and we can confirm that it looks great. You helped build this deck?
Oh, yes.
It looks beautiful.
I did. I helped build this deck. And this also is, again, talking about fairies, this is a fairy kind of community spot, and this is someone who is also wanting this to be a space for sharing and connection and healing. So it feels, again, very, very in tune to the overarching theme. But a day in the life of Judy Darling. I, wake up at 12, start to work at 1, take an hour lunch, and then at 2, I'm done. Jolly old time. No, could you imagine? That would be great. My practices are...
Love the Wizard of Oz shout out.
I love the Wizard of Oz.
I heard that lyric. I caught that lyric.
You caught it. I know you did. I know. I saw you perk up. I love affirmations. I feel like that is a really accessible, magical tool to do kind of any time throughout the day. I think if you have a strong intention you're working on, you could do, maybe the 3, 6, 9 technique, or if you have another powerful way of connecting with them, great, easy way. I have a travel altar for when I'm on the road. So I have like a little box, and, I've done it a couple times, but teaching little classes or workshops on how to make your own
I love that.
altar kit, right? Travel kit, so that you have like this way to anchor yourself to whatever you might encounter on your travels. And half the time it's just kind of a grounding, right? Like reminding myself who and what I am, how past me has taken the time and care to set my spiritual self up for success on the road, I think in itself is powerful and a continuing spell. I love tech serving community, like so volunteer work I think is a big way to like tap into magic. Is being in the space you are by serving the environment you are, and that can look many different ways. When I have access to it, I love a bath. I'm a big bath witch. One of my favorite quotes or ideas of magic is you can solve anything with salt, so tears, sea salt, or sweat. So if there's a problem, one of those three is gonna help it. Right? It's good, simple magic. I love candle magic when I have the means or the space to do it. And I mean, I just got to really luxuriate in what it means to be kind of a magical practitioner. You didn't fall all the way off the deck that time. Just almost off the deck.
I feel like the phone keeps falling, guys, so it feels like we're on a roller coaster. It's very fun. It's super fun.
I know. I literally have it propped up on tools. I'm such a butch queen.
So butch. So butch.
So butch.
I'm taking this as a sign that Kate and I both need to touch more grass.
I know. I was just thinking about how I'm going to go for a walk after this. Because I need to go outside and breathe some fresh air.
I love that. That's what this is motivating. That's what it should
It's very
motivate.
motivating. It's very motivating.
Honestly, that's another big part of my practice is nature. You know, like getting myself outside and just taking my shoes off on grass or sitting by a tree. I'm a big fan of climbing trees, so when that's allowed and there's a good one, just getting up in a tree, it's powerful. You know, it's simple. It's a simple way to kind of connect to this rock that we're all on, right?
Yeah.
So it helps really put you in a place. And then, you know, there's other things like sex magic is great, which is different for partners or by yourself, but I think who and what you are in your life really dictates what you need spiritually, right? There are times where maybe the job or the work you're doing doesn't allow something as extensive or as decadent as witch camp, like I was going to bring up a moment ago.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
want
was
to talk about that,
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be a part of this great experience. A good friend of mine, her name is Veronica Varlow. She's also known as the Love Witch. She's been a great friend and a big sister over the years, and she has been doing different iterations of witch camp for almost 13, 14 years, I think, over a decade. And so this, I think, was the year anniversary of her doing it in New Orleans. But she facilitated a beautiful old Victorian house in New Orleans, had all of these beautiful people come and share a week of connection and spirituality and magical practice and this idea of community and the idea of building and crafting the work together, and how everything is so, it's almost like a positive domino effect, right? Things are so beautifully linked, and there were so many synchronicities that were happening because I think we were so dialed in, right? I think talking about this idea of using magic that serves you in the moment, because of this space last week, I was able to facilitate a different kind of focus in my magical practice than maybe I've been able to this week as a carpenter. So like, you know, the moon waxing and waning, you have to ask both the magical side and kind of your physical mundane side, what are the needs right now? Oh yeah, I'm needing to ground, but I really only have 10 minutes to do it. So what is something in my wheelhouse that's going to get me to that space as if I had a week-long magical retreat? And it's almost like, oh, that week-long retreat was to make up for this week that I'm not going to have that time. So it's thinking about how the past you can set the future you up for self. That's a big thing a lot of Veronica teaches at Witch Camp, this idea of being your own kind of time-traveling guardian angel. If time is, you know, not this thing that goes forward, it's all on top of each other, we can be our own saviors by doing a little time travel, by tapping into the future or the past and coming back to comfort some old wounds or going forward to help alleviate some possible ones that might occur.
I love that. Yeah, I always try to do that. That's a recent, within the last few years, try to do favors for future Kate. And then when I benefit from those favors, say, thanks, past Kate.
I say that so often, and my friends, I think they think it's charming at this point because sometimes it benefits them. They're like, oh my God, thanks, Pass Coleman. You know, like if I do something, I'm like, I did put an extra popsicle in my bag for you. And they're like, thanks, Pass Coleman.
Looking out. It really makes a difference.
It does.
That's amazing. That witch camp sounds incredible. Does she do it every year, or is it every like half season? Or
so basically, I think it's evolving, and her goal is to kind of be expansive and like to offer different packages, because human beings have different schedules, right? So not everyone has the time or the means to do a whole week. So she's right now offering, I think it's like a 5 or 6 day program, and this fall she's doing 4 different sessions. I think the second one or the middle one are second weekers, so they're like, right, like they've done the first week before, and so they're now going on to the next level.
Wow.
And then in the spring, I think she's offering some camp sessions, but then the hope is to maybe do a long extended weekend that would meet 4 times, maybe 6 times a year, right? And maybe you're with the same group throughout, but then it's a little bit more accessible for someone who works or, you know, has family commitments, what have you. But having the time and the space to connect with your magical siblings is so delicious in any iteration. So whether I'm, you know, in the woods or in the mountains with fairy folk doing ritualistic theater by torchlight, or, you know, I'm sitting around.
Sounds amazing.
I mean,
Sounds incredible.
as I mentioned like earlier, like this idea of being little Coleman in the backyard, holding a broom, praying to God to be a witch. One of my, like the easiest spell is to remind myself I'm living my dream. I wanted to be a performer in New York. Check. I've done that. Any other performance in New York is just gravy on top of that. And I wanted to be a witch, and I'm doing that.
Check.
More frosting on the cake. Do you know? Like, it's just like, okay. So now it's just kind of like extra goodness, extra dreams, extra magic.
Yeah.
I love that.
Amazing.
I want to briefly also talk about your arts. You talk about ritualistic theater. You also on your Instagram mentioned, you say you're a monologist?
A
monologist?
A monologist.
How do you say that?
Monologist?
Yes, you got it.
Monologist?
A
Is it
monologist. Yes, a monologist.
I was like, are they monogamous? What is that?
It basically means I like to talk a lot, which I think you've both experienced at this
No.
point.
What?
What?
Crazy.
What? Judy likes to gab.
And talk about your art. You also
Okay, talk about your art. Just
Talk about your art.
Just
What-
talk about your art. What do you do?
love
I say like I'm a Jack and Jill of all trades, right? You know, like I have worn many, many different hats, but I've written, I've produced, I've directed, I've performed since I was like 3. I have done the drag, I've done makeup, I've done costumes. I love just the process of telling a story. And it is very spiritual for me, this connection to play, for that idea of like, let's go do a show in the barn, you know? I mean, it goes further back to let's do a show in the amphitheater. It is so many things all at once, right? It teaches lessons, it gives us hope, it gives us warnings. There's a mosquito on me.
Kill it! Or, you know, gently release it from
No, I'm sorry. Mosquitoes
murder.
deserve death.
Murder.
That's
Yeah.
where I draw the line.
Yeah, you don't need to exist right now.
They're the only bugs I don't apologize to when I kill them.
Right. I don't want to apologize to them. I just try to like slap them quickly and move on. But these ones, they're tinier than most. These little Georgia skeeters. Well, we were discussing my art.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, like I'm someone who enjoys so many different facets of craft and artistry. Like I love to paint. I love to teach. You know, I've been a preschool teacher and I've taught theater in different iterations. So it's, again, I find ways of it being so connective. This experience of building a deck with my friend has been art. And trying to make a space more accessible and beautiful for community is a form of artistry. Some of my best art is in the kitchen, do you know? But
And in the bedroom.
well,
On that note, a quick reminder that we do have a wonderful episode on sex magic back in season 1 if anyone is looking for more information.
I love that plug. Yes, yes. Learn, children. Learn all about it.
Sex magic.
Sex magic.
Yes, so it's in everything that you do. I mean, like you said, you're an event. I
Living
have
and breathing
all
art,
these
you know?
thoughts the whole time you've been talking. All of these signs just keep coming into my brain. I hope you know that. Like, I can't wait to guess. And so you also do tarot. You also offer tarot readings. You are a tarot reader.
Yes.
Were you also starting to study that around the same time as learning your witchcraft?
Totally. Yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where, you know, getting back into... So being in a magical space, first of all, I realized, oh, someone had a tarot deck when I was a child, right? And I was playing with it. But I don't remember if it was like one of my dad's roommates or one of my aunts, but I remember it being around and the images being significant. And then being in college, another friend had a deck, we played with it, right? But until you assign meaning and associate your own kind of personal connection to the cards and where they fall, they're just a toy. So working at the shop, I was around a lot of people who were either tarot readers by profession or by practice, and just kind of fell in love with the art form and tapped into it as a way of offering spiritual counseling or connection to people who might need something solved in their life, right? Oftentimes we use tarot to affirm the way forward, and that is something that I have loved facilitating through this divination tool.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Em. I completely took over this interview. I'm sorry. I feel like I've asked.
No, I was just talking like a second ago.
Okay. Well,
You
I
don't
just
remember?
No. I know. I mean, I know you have. I just mean, like, I felt like I asked all the questions. Do you have anything else that you wanted to ask?
No, just the questions that were on the list that we've asked.
Okay, good. I feel like I'm ready to guess your signs.
Okay. I'm here for it.
And then I feel like we should draw a card.
I love it.
I'm so nervous about being wrong.
There's so many.
There's a lot of
you got a
signs,
1
so
in 12 shot at best.
Yeah, you got a good shot of being not right.
Yeah, I did. Okay, well, I'm gonna guess your 3, and I feel like there are very clear options for your 3 that are very, like, stereotypical.
Oh,
you
okay.
know, like, we're gonna go off of like the well-known attributes, because I'm getting very strong, like, Pisces, Sagittarius, Leo energy in terms of the creativity, the travel, the philosopher, the, like, lover of attention, and but you know, you're a performer. Leos are natural performers. You know, but I also could see some Scorpio or some Virgo. You know, like the hard work ethic, the little bit of the lover of the darkness, a little bit of the more cunning and, like, mysterious, like, drawn to aspects. I could see also maybe some Aquarius in you that's like, I'm just truly weird. I feel like you're too heart open to be Aquarius, but that could also be maybe more of your rising or something like that, you know? So, and it's always hard to say because obviously no one, like,
Right.
as we know, birth charts are very complex, and
Yep.
it's not, everyone's not just their signs, but I get
Right.
very, and there also could be, like, a little bit of Taurus energy. I don't necessarily get Taurus, but I always think Tauruses are very, like, hardworking, hard at play, hard at work, you know, like, lovable, happy sun energy to me. So I get that from you as well. But at first guess, if I were to just base off of our conversation, I would say, like, Pisces, Sagittarius, Leo vibes. Am I
Okay.
close? Oh, yeah, go ahead, Emily, you guess.
Yeah, Emily, you're gonna guess, right?
Yeah, I get a guess too. I was also going to say Pisces, actually. And then I was going to say Scorpio and Leo. Those were my guesses.
All right.
It's funny because Emily's a double Scorpio and I'm a Sagittarius sun, so we just want you to be our signs, really. We just love you that much. We're just your parents being like, be our sign.
Well, my sun is in the 5th house, so that's maybe the Leo vibe that you're feeling, because it is, in that house that Leo typically rules. But I am a Capricorn.
Oh.
But I was born on a full moon, so I have a Cancer moon.
Oh.
And I have a Virgo rising.
So there was a Virgo.
There was
a Virgo aspect there. I got a little bit of a Virgo vibe.
I feel like it is basically impossible to guess people's
it is very hard to
signs
guess.
unless they happen to be like just so much that one
Like
thing.
pure,
Yeah.
It's I would say that astrology is great as a self-reflective tool and can be predictive sometimes, but largely it's like very
it's just too complex.
It's like sometimes you get to know someone, you're like, oh yeah, you are a Leo, but like you don't seem like one. But it's like there's a lot there.
It's a lot there. Although I did look up my mother's birth chart and I was reading it at the dining room table, like just between my husband and I, and we were laughing because it was so her. But she didn't know we were reading it. That was delicious. That was really fun.
Yeah, I feel like when you get down to like birth charts, it tends to be a lot more useful. But it's like, I don't know. Yeah. People never are like, oh, you're such a Scorpio to me, but like,
Wait, so break it down again. Your rising is Virgo?
Uh-huh. My rising
and then
is
your
Virgo.
sun?
Sun
I'm
is
sorry?
Capricorn. Yep, rising's Virgo, Capricorn sun, and Cancer moon.
Okay. So there's the sensitive side.
I see it.
The Cancer moon.
And I have my Jupiter is in Pisces. So travel and like the esoteric arts are governed by Pisces. And then I have a Venus in Sag. So there is like, that you weren't, there was things you were picking up on, but just in different places.
Well, either way, delightful person. That's what we were. Delightful event. That's what we were
Delightful
picking up.
event. I am. Thank you.
5 stars on TripAdvisor.
Yeah. Would attend again for sure. Shall we draw a card, or shall
I would
you draw
love
a
to.
card?
Yes, I have my deck here.
Yes. What deck is this?
This is Garden of the Moon Tarot.
Ooh.
Yes, a friend of mine had it on their coffee table, and I was like, I've never seen this deck. It is so beautiful. And they were like, oh, I'm not feeling it right now. I'm just like kind of over it. And I was like, oh, well, I love it. And they were like, well, do you want it? And I was like, well, what if I bring you one that I'm not feeling that I've had for a while? And they were like, sure, whatever, no big deal. So I got that deck, and then I brought one, and they loved it. So it was like a beautiful trade.
Nice.
Kismet.
Yes.
Kismet. Right? Okay. So I have shuffled the deck, and I have cut it, and I'm just pulling one card, right?
Yeah, just one card.
Oh. I've pulled the star.
Aww. Because you're a star.
I mean,
Yes,
I'm not going to
Tyra.
argue. I'm not going to argue with you.
Oh my God, I
but
love that.
wish fulfilled. We will be healed through following our heart's desire.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
Isn't that 100% on point?
On message, bitch.
How good is
Will you
that?
take a photo of that, please, and send it to us, and we'll post it
100%.
on our Insta.
I'm going to put it on the deck.
On the deck.
Put that
Deck on the deck.
The deck on the deck. Decks on decks on decks.
Decks on decks on
love
decks.
It's a nice big deck.
It's spacious.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay!
Amazing. Well,
Thrilled.
so how can people find you? How can people get involved with you? How can people pay you money and attend you as an event?
I love that. I do have a Venmo.
Yeah.
It's witch dash on the rise, and there's no wrong way to tip a drag queen. There's no wrong time to tip a drag queen. You can tip a drag queen anytime, and you should. Tipping is mandatory. Instagram, I am the Judy Darling. The Judy Darling. If you're nasty, I follow back hard. Ever. It's the thought that counts. And then I'm always down to clown, to collab. You can contact me at thejudydarling@gmail.com.
And you can follow us at Witchcast Podcast on Instagram. You can find more info. We'll link to everything. And yes, I do have the info for the witch camp, so I will also post that on our Insta and on our website at witchcastpodcast.com.
Yes.
And if you liked this convo and want to learn more about us, or listen to more episodes and help other people find us too, you can leave us a little review and give us a little 5 stars. It helps us a lot and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always an option to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else that you get your fine podcasts like this one.
Yes. Well, anyway, we unfortunately, I think the connection lost Judy, but we're so happy to have them. And until next time,
Hex yeah!
'Cause it's Witchcast.